So, job the first of my 30-year-old caravan. Replace knackered Owl's outdoor light with new swanky LED one. Check. Treat ourselves to taking off the plastic. Or maybe I'll get some of your fingernails to do that. Right, task number 2. So, since I inherited this, every year I've had a bash at fixing this and every year I've failed. So, in the original 1994 Challenger 490, you had this system in which this slides out, pulls all the bed lats with, and in theory should all come out nice and sweet. However, I have tried, so my dad, when I first got this had a big piece of chipboard in, and I forgot this was a big piece of chipboard, and then knelt in the middle, snapped it, because big fat bastard. So, over the years I've tried various different ways to do this. So I had last year invested in a planing saw, a table saw rather, and I then recreated the profile exactly as the old lats were, and then stapled them in, and no matter how hard I've tried, staples never hold, and the entire thing just keeps falling down like that. It's an absolute nightmare. So we're going to go back to my father's improved method of this. I'm going to use these lats to reinforce the big piece of plywood that I got, which was originally me shed, which I bought for 100 quid off Marketplace. It was all panelled out, never quite went back on, so I'm going to use a piece of that, because actually last year used bits of that to make these shelves in here, because this was just a big open space. So, like the Native Americans, we eat every part of the buffalo. So, I've taken some measurements. I'm now going to get busy with the saw and, fabricate that one up. Hello, and there we go. So, I've cut my piece of spare plywood to size. I've also put a little handle in for ease of removal. And then what I've done underneath is I've used the other buttons, countersunk the screws, the length in, just to strengthen it up. So we've got some of the original buttons from the, lats from the Challenger when it was new. Weirdly, when I was telling my dad, who gifted me this caravan, about the fact the lats were a bit broken, he says, "Oh, don't worry, I've got some lats in the house." And on closer inspection, it turned out there were lats from my very first bunk bed from a child. So these here, oddly, are from my very, very first bed I ever had 40 odd year ago. My dad was definitely the very definition of, oh, that might come in handy one day. So yes, anyway, don't throw anything out ever, and you too will be able to repair and fabricate bits for your 30-year-old caravan. So yes, good and strong. I'll do a little test with you now. It'll make plenty of creaky noises, but that's me nailing on it, all probably about 17.5 clemovers. So that'll do nicely. So next thing to go is I need to repair the emergency breakaway cable on the front, because last year I drove away forgetting that it was attached to the car, and in a non-emergency pulled the brake cable on and pulled it off. So I'm going to go and do that next. Thanks. So, this shows here the point at which I got stuck. What had happened was the sat-nav had taken us on a bit of a weird and wonderful route, and we were coming up this hill. No signs to say unsuitable for caravans, heavy goods, etc., etc. And we were coming up, and we probably got to about a 33% incline, and I had to stop to let a big tractor go by. What happens next will show you my lack of traction. So here it comes.
Never get back here now.
So, as you can see there, ran out of traction, completely stuck. My assumption was it was just too steep for the front wheel drive to overcome, so I popped the tow eye in, waited for a kindly person to take sympathy upon me. An old fella in a Navara thankfully did, popped the tow rope on, and then this happened.
What did you do?
Nothing, I stirred the tanks.
Whoa.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Now, the photograph you see here shows a very bent rear suspension arm. So bent, in fact, that when we set off with the Navarro towing me, ungodly noises were emanating from the back of the car, and then very swiftly followed by big plumes of smoke and smells of burning rubber. By the time we got to the top of the hill, got the caravan unhooked and the car parked up, I took the wheel off and then found these parts had actually bent and dug into the rear tyre. Now, massive thanks to the Lord Stone Cafe. They were incredibly accommodating. The fact I'd come with half a scrapyard to their car park. Also, massive thanks to the Wi-Fi, because there was not a single bar of reception round there, so I wouldn't have been able to call anyone had it not been. So at this stage, realised I had big problems. It was Sunday afternoon, and this then turned into a bit of a rescue mission. So, Sarah's very kindly mother came and picked the girls up, because obviously they weren't too enthralled being stuck at the top of this hill going nowhere. I then called my usual recovery driver who recovers all my works vans. He very kindly came and got me. I then called on a Sunday afternoon as well, Patton's Garage down in Sunderland, who I use all the time, and they kindly accepted the Jag, because I was actually coming back home for a funeral in the middle of the holiday, and if everything had fallen in place, we would have got the Jag repaired and then taken back. However, that was another story. So, yes, the running theory with this is, at some point in its life, again, because I can say there's been unscrupulous maintenance made on it in its past, we think somebody's jacked this up on these rear arms, which, when I was speaking to the Jag specialist who I'm getting the parts off, they say is quite common. Even people who jack these things up on the sill indicators, it's still quite easy to catch them. So we think that, despite only having maybe top whack 1200 kilo on the back, the Jaguar X-Type is rated to 1500. These things were fatigued and they were just waiting for some weight to possibly buckle them. So, lessons learnt. Again, disappointing. We've spent a fair bit of time and money getting the Jag ready. It did a 300-mile round trip to the Festival of the Unexceptional the week beforehand. Ran absolutely fantastically. However, unless I start doing the sort of X-ray methodology that you would do on oil rigs, I'm afraid I'm not going to catch problems like this until they manifest. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this one. I promise I will get a Figaro update. That has been to do with the fact that part of the reason is I broke my welder when I welded the new sill on the Jag. So I waited on a warranty replacement, and I also broke my angle grinder, which, again, without that I am a truly terrible welder. So apologies for all the delays. Thanks for joining me on this little adventure, and I shall hopefully see you again soon.